Welcome back to the Freak Show. Bumpy McSquigums here. I want to thank you guys for joining me once again as I continue with my Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. We are a watcher, as we learned in the last episode, and who knows what that is going to bring to
17 and a half.
The table. 17 and a half what? What? The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
Sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Okay. Aloth frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19.
He looks you up and down and grimaces.
I don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops.
He tisks.
You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
I don't know what that means exactly, but it sounds derogatory. Do you know what a watcher is? I've been out of sorts lately. Impossible. I don't drool half as much. Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be.
He glances about quickly, then leans in.
Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
You think you're going to be hanged?
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fellow decides he's the living incarnation of Eothas. Overthrows the Ridceris, I guess? I don't know. Marches on Deerwood, so we give him a Deerwooden hello. What's a Deerwooden hello?
We blew him up.
He smiles at this, but it is a smile of one recounting the joke for effect rather than enjoyment. Who is Eothas? He's the god of rebirth and redemption, formerly anyhow. Maybe they call him something different from where you're from. I had other questions. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved? Radric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working with Kulsk, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. What does the town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to.
He shrugs.
Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea.
Huh.
Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back.
Huh.
After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly. Especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me.
Huh.
Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
He looks up at the tree, his eyes trailing one of the swaying bodies. Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was so eager to leave. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Waidwin's legacy started with Waidwin. Well, we could travel together. Where are you headed? Some place called Cade Nua? There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before.
Something kindles in this dude's eyes, and the vigor of purpose finds its way into his voice.
Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
He scratches his beard absently with a calloused thumb. There's a fine reason if I have ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing.
He shrugs.
Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He glances briefly at the tree. He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Well, let's get going. Alright, we have 3 people now as part of our squad. Let's go actually take a quick gander here at what they are. So, we, of course, the leader of the group, we are a player named Gus, and yeah, we're a 3rd level druid right now. Feeling the love. We have Aloth, who's a 3rd level wizard, and we have Eder, who is a 3rd level fighter. Now, I have the feeling that he probably is... Okay, let's say he probably isn't using a sword and board like I was hoping, but he is. He's got his sword and shield, so he is actually okay. He also seems to be equipped with a warbow, which is also not so bad. This dude's got himself a rapier, so I think what we should do for him is maybe give him a small shield as well. Put that on his considerable person, and now he has some options there. Yeah, I think that's okay. I do 17 to 25 damage. He does 10 to 15, and he does 15 to 22. It's mildly impressive. It's a saber. How does that stack up to 11 to 16, 16 to 23, and then what else do we have? We had something like that. 11 to 15. Slash damage. This is pierce damage. I'm going to put this here just in case he needs something that has piercing. And how does the battle axe stack up? 13 to 19. Bonus critical. That one's sharp. That's okay. Maybe I'll put the battle axe there too, just in case. But it's going to be for you. Not him. Not him. What kind of armor are you wearing, buddy? Your leather armor. Recovery speed is minus 30%. Mine's 20. I should probably up that. I go with hide armor. That seems like that's appropriate for a druid. I'll go with some hide armor. Oh, that looks so much cooler than what I had on. Okay. Well, I guess that's what we're going to roll out with. Feeling pretty good now. Alright, now I think we're going to go and start doing stuff like entering houses and things. See if there's any fights to be had. Hopefully we can actually survive those fights. I don't know if there's any point in... Is that something I can get? If there's any point in like going down in this area, if that's going to just get me killed or what the case is. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. There's going to be a lot of mistakes made, guys and gals. Like I said, I remember a lot of parts of the game. I don't remember anything all the way through beginning to end. So, like, I knew we were going to get these 2 guys in some way, shape, or form. As soon as I saw Aloth, I knew we were going to get him, and I already knew we were going to get Eder or Adir or whatever his name is. But, all that being said, I wasn't sure exactly how it was all going to happen. And, on top of that, I don't really remember exactly everything that we're going to be doing. So, let's go in here. This is where Nanton was. Nope, these are two totally different people. Hello. It's Kara Eloth. You see a crowded marketplace, vendors' stalls lining the road, their proprietors' voices calling out to passers-by to come sample their wares. This woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse vendors' goods, tearing at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. One will pick up a book and show it to the other, who will take it, comment on it, and then place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits this woman in the chest and bounces off, rolling away toward one of the buildings. The woman stops and looks down at the object. It's an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and the two other apples that he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one of them, this time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them something derisive and hateful, something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other on her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book from her pack and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring for the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple. As it arcs through the air toward them, the second woman brings up her hand and points at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear, looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. The woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and their attacker. She touches her face and gently strokes it while whispering calming words. A kiss, the woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. First woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. "Wizard scum," the man behind them says to the two women as they turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. Okay. And then Edlin Priostin? Sure. You see a key turn gently, steady, and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. Two figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin their prowl. Their hunt is efficient, and it takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents and oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, and bags. The door opens downstairs and everything freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eye whites and short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy hurriedly replaced. Silence from downstairs, then tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward, the other gesticulating wildly for him to return. He continues forward, crouching by the banister. He sees a gaudy shoe and shoves. The woman falls with a cut-off scream, rolling lifelessly to the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever value they can on their way out. Well, that's horrible. Just flat out murdering people. Shoving people off while you're robbing them. I mean, like, that's not cool. Oh, well. What can you do? Well, I'm sure there's many things that you can do. Let's go check this house. I remember at some point I got in trouble. I think it was because I was trying to steal in town, and people got upset with me and attacked me. So that's why I was very, very keen on getting at least one or two other people to join me in my my travels here. Did I already loot this? I did not. The Deerwood Part 2, The Broken Stone War. Let's talk to Nanton. This man and woman appear to have been in deep conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Gods keep you.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nanton? Nanton coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Valewood. I warned him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two are in good spirits for people who just lost a friend. You seem to be in a hurry. This one. That's unkind of you to say. I'm grieving my husband in my fashion. I'm only sorry I could not convince him to leave Gilded Vale before this happened. I'm relieved to be rid of this terrible place. That's all. It's cost me the greater part of my life and now my husband, and I'm glad to be free of it. You two, is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? And Grode smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine. But the rot goes deeper. If you were looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves. You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so, and Grode laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Nanton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. He reaches to take her hand and says, it's time for some new scenery. Goodbye. I feel like they murdered her husband.
Hail and well met.
Well, I'm going to take your weird little shillings there, and that's that. Alright, I don't know if we're strong enough to go back and fight the bear. I sort of want to try it, but I'm also terrified. But we are also a man-boar, so that's a thing that we have going for us, I guess. Probably. Where's our nearest exit point? Is it over here? Let's go up this way. Oh, there's something happening. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. Muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes to the door and gets shot between the eyes. God's hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back. Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Okay. Look at the dude walking in the front. He's very bow-legged. What's up? Oh, I can just walk in? Am I going to get shot? I'm a little concerned right now. Please don't shoot me. Please, please, please don't shoot me. An elven man stands before you. His relatively stocky build suggests a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Hold on. I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates and lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town, right? Don't tell me Swainer's already got his claws into you. Gods, that's all I need. What's all that ruckus outside? My name is a player named Gus. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting Gilded Vale's. Had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. What was that ruckus outside? Who's Swainer? The dwarf, the one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastage has been here for decades. He hasn't gotten any kinder with time. The miller hesitates and lowers his club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? Well, I thought you could use some help. The people outside there seem to be pretty angry. Really? Trumbull sighs relief. Could I use a friendly face or what? I take it you heard some part of what the crowd's asking for? Grain, as if I got it all tucked away somewhere. Swainer's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far. But if things keep on like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, then, well, maybe could you speak to Swainer? He won't listen to me anymore, just explains that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I'll go see what I can do. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. You won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him that we've all been having a hard time of it, and we've all been having to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. Well, that's fair. I could steal that, but it seems awfully harsh. Who are you? My father's a good man. He's always done right by the town. I'm sure Father can explain better what's happened here. Is there anything else? I have more questions. This is very complicated. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to go have a talk to him. Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. Well, it's not. Look, Swainer's always been a rotten bastard with stores so limited. Maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Alfra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Do the villagers know about the grain supply? Looks embarrassed some, the innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can just keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. Well, the innkeeper. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with him. Alright. Well, let's go see if we can find Swainer and do that. About out of time for the episode, but maybe we can get this part handled, and then we'll go bear hunting in the next episode. And hopefully it all goes well, but you know how things go when I'm involved. Not well, generally speaking. But that's okay. We're doing fine. I don't know where Swainer is, though. That's a small problem. If I had some rough idea where he was at, that would make things just a tad easier. I'm going to have to assume that he's probably near the center of town, or something along those lines. Because he's not outside right now. Swainer, where be ye? Oh, definitely not there. And of course, we have the magistrate that still exists over here. He's a super nice guy. I think we probably need to talk to him before we leave as well. If I'm being honest. I don't know where this guy is. Where are you, friend? I want to give you large quantities of money. It's not true, I don't. I have grain for you. Would you like some mead? Have you ever been to Defiance Bay? I have not. I think he's down here in the inn somewhere. I mean, I suppose it's possible. Yep, there he is. Alright, I'm going to do a quick save. I know, shocking.
How do you do?
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful, looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it, too. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. I saw you outside the mill. What was that all about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account that he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf's jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. That's what it's about. Now shove off. Well, what are you doing in here then? What's it look like? Drink until I forget how much I want to put a pitchfork through Trumbull's face. Trumbler. What if I buy you around? Will you talk to me then? Well, he says you've been threatening his family. Oh, I bet he has. All nobility, that Trumbull. 2 big, strong kids, purest soul in all of the Gilded Vale. The dwarf sneers. Coward sending out messengers to handle his business. Well, you can go tell him we haven't had a solid meal in days on account of him, and we can't afford a good drink on account of him, but we won't be bullied by some foreigner on account of him. Well, if you want a fight with Trumbull, let's make it a fair one. Hey, hold on there. Swainer raises his hands defensively, eyes big. No need to get nasty. We won't go near the mill. Blazes, we haven't done a thing to him. We're just hungry is all, and looks like that isn't changing. You want to side with that rotten bastard? You go right ahead. You and this whole stupid town. Against the grain. Task has been updated. Alright, well, we're going to report back to Trumbull. So that's going to be how we do things, I guess. Now, I'm not going to be necessarily right or wrong, good or evil. Probably leaning toward the good, but I'm going to be kind of a no nonsense, I guess, is what it's going to be like. So there'll be times where, something's going to happen, and it might not be the nicest thing to do something, but I'm going to be like, look, dude, I just don't care. You're going to do what I say because I said to do it. So, definitely not the moral high ground, but, I'm not just a right nasty person either. Somewhere in the middle. I think that's going to be how we do this. We're going to be somewhere in the middle. Still leaning toward good, but only when it suits us. So, we're one of those fair weather friends, or fair weather good people. I don't know. It's fine. All right.
How do you do?
You're back. Had you any luck? I talked to him. And what'd he say? Well, I convinced him to leave you in peace. Why, that's... Really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to them. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. Yeah, well, I'm kind of a hero. I owe you a great debt. Here, he pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation, and you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Glad to help. Keep it. You're having a hard enough time already. It's really all you can afford after I saved your family. You know what? Like I said, I'm leaning toward the good side of things. But that doesn't mean I'm always going to be good. So sometimes I might be like, hey, I need the money, pay me. But right now I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling magnanimous. So boom, there you go. I am a generous soul, friend. And we'll have you to thank for making it through the coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favor with the gods. May I find favor with the gods? Indeed. Alright, we're going to go and run back to Valewood or some place like that. And from there, we're going to break off the episode because we're going to go bear hunting, which is probably not going to end very well. I'm calling it now. It's probably not going to go super good. That's okay. That is alright. Yep, Valewood. Alright, so that's where we're heading, and then after that we'll head somewhere else and do other things. And it'll be fun or terrible. One of those two things is probably true. Anyway, folks, I hope that was okay for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the very next episode. Until then, my name's Bumpy McSquigums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show, and I will see you later.